again, August 24, 2020. We're sharing what we perceive as the most appropriate use of your energy for the remainder of 2020 and how to use your energy for the birthing of a beautiful 2021. Now, there's so much confusion in your world right now, to say the least, But if you can do your best to filter out ego from the messages, which isn't easy, and pick the truth between the lines, so to speak. Listen to a multitude of sources. Do not limit yourself to one source, because what you're looking for isn't what other people are telling you. You're looking to develop your own sense of truth, your own sense of what appears to match what you're seeing in your world. So when you have a leader saying, no, it's okay, and all the evidence that you're seeing everywhere else says it's not, go with your gut, go with your instinct, go with your inner knowing that I think their ego or their fear is trying to cover something up or to make it prettier than it really is. And realize you do the same thing. You all do the very same thing, You dent the car and you call your spouse and you say, well, it's a little scratch, maybe. You drop and break something, and you tell people, well, the dog knocked it over. Little things, you see. But every time you do this, you break trust with self, and that's the first energy we want to talk about. What you really want to grow and affirm and make stronger in this year is your trust in self. And we're very specific in our wordings, trust in self, because this is a time, 2020, we've talked about it before. 2020 is a year in which you are given opportunity after opportunity to reclaim your authority in self. And you do that by filtering all the information coming to you to look for where you're giving away authority, where you're saying this person must know more than I, this person must have better information. You're looking for answers. And there are none. This is archetypical energy. Archetypical energy, it's the most recent event in which you had this much archetypical energy all across the world is during O.J. Simpson issue, where everybody identified with one player in that game. It might have been the attorney, it might have been the judge, it might have been O.J. himself or the victims in that crime. But there was no clear answer. But everyone had to come to peace with it by determining for themselves what served them, what messages served them from that whole event. And that's exactly what's happening now. This is a gift to you. The year 2020 is not what you might want to think of as the prettiest gift, but it is one powerful gift because it is meant to reshape your individual relationship with authority and responsibility. They go hand in hand. In order to balance authority, you must balance it with responsibility. You're seeing so much evidence in your world right now where that's not happening. You've got authority out of balance because they're not taking responsibility for the impact of their choices. It's do as I say, rather than let's create this together. You're looking for messages outside of self that invite you to create community, that invite you to help speak into the resolution, that invite you to problem solve. Now, why is it so important? Why does it have to happen now? Because your world is changing and you're being gifted this opportunity to build trust within self to a greater degree than you've ever been gifted with before, because the coming years are going to be challenging, yeah? And if you're still in relationship with fear, then those years are going to be very difficult for you. So the more that you understand that fear and trust are polarities, opposite of each other vibrationally, then you understand that if you're choosing to be in fear, and fear is always a choice, always, underline, exclamation point, fear is always a choice. If you're in fear, there's no room for trust. But if you're in trust, there's no room for fear. Your society has trained you to be fearful. It's trained you to think that you don't know how to live your own lives, that you don't know how to make decisions for yourself. And they're always like, yeah, don't look too closely, don't question, don't think too hard about it. We'll take care of it. How's that working for you? Not so well, is it? Look at your politics, obviously, but look at your use of your land and your resources. Look at just look at your world. Pick any topic in your world and look at the balance or the imbalance that is present in terms of authority not matching up with responsibility. Yeah, it's rather humorous to us in a kind of a backhanded way that the person appointed by your current president to run the post office, which has become a huge issue in this election, doesn't know the cost to mail a postcard. Come on, that's amusing. That's very amusing. He's also demonstrated so many things that would cause you to doubt his competency. So go ahead and doubt it. Don't let a title affect your ability to perceive truth. Trust and truth intertwine like DNA. When you choose to trust, always a choice, choosing to trust, truth is magnetized to trust. And when you grow and expand trust, truth gets larger, louder, more complete in your reality. So, number one, how to manage your your energy in 2020. Look now for the fear in your life. It's rather like telling you to go hunt the monster under the bed, but that's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to understand in a way perhaps you've never perceived before how fear appears to be invisible to you, appears to have no consequence. But fear is the penultimate avoidance of responsibility. Let us repeat that. Every time you choose fear, you are in complete avoidance of responsibility for your own life. Can you feel the truth of that? Yes, it's huge. Why do you think God is all it is gifting you this period of time to look at your long-term relationship with fear in its many faces? We've talked for months about this with different groups and individuals, that everyone on the planet at some period in this time of 2020 and 2021 is going to have to face some level of fear that they were previously unaware of. For some of you, it will be over money. For some, it will be over racial issues. For some, it will be over work, your career, education, your children, your health, the placement, the living space of your family, the well-being of your country, the future of your country, which we will tell you is precariously balanced right now. Precariously balanced. What you do, and we're talking to each and every one of you, what you choose to do, the actions you take in the next 6 months will determine the next decades of the well-being or not well-being of your country. Please hear us on that. No more time for fear and irresponsibility, because the consequences of that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. Democracy is at stake in your country. And if the democracy in the United States fails, it will fail like dominoes across the world. You will live in a world in which you do not have freedom of speech. You do not have freedom of education. You do not have freedom at all. You think we cry too loud? No, we do not cry loud enough to you because you do not hear. We do not live in your world. Our channel does, but we do not. We simply think that by telling you the potential outcome of remaining partnered with fear It may add to the motivation, which right now is confusion, pain, and uncertainty, and doubt, and all the clouding fogginess. It may add to the motivation for you to think in a new way. All these people that said they knew what they were doing, that took positions of power in your world, we're not talking just about the United States. Look at the job they've done. If it was you at your workplace, would you still have a job if you had behaved in the way that these people are behaving? No. If you ran a company in the way that these people who are supposed to be leaders of the world are running their countries, would you still be in business? No. Hold them to the same level of accountability that you begin to hold yourself. Trust over fear. And every time you choose fear, because your subconscious is ingrained, it's a habit. You've been choosing fear since before you were born. It's literally born in you, in the womb. This is why you forget that it's a choice. It doesn't matter how healthy mother is. It doesn't matter the environment in which you were born. It doesn't matter the family. It has to do with when you're disconnected with unconditional love so that you can enter into the density of the three-dimensional hologram. So it's very confusing to people when we say fear is choice, because it's chosen in the fetus. Yeah. But it is still a choice. And your journey through life is meant to bring you to an awareness of how your choices, which is the basis of all human power, are affecting your day-to-day reality. So that you begin to understand when you let go of fear and its numbing properties, because fear numbs you. It's part of how you avoid responsibility. It's too scary. It's too big. I don't know how. All the ways that you can think of to deny your own strength. And every time you deny it, you push it further away. See, there's no mistake. Please hear us. There's no mistake about who's alive in this world, in this year of 2020. No mistake at all. All of you chose to be here. All of you. Every being on this planet shows this now, because this is so incredible in terms of development as spiritual beings. You, in this time frame of about 1940 through about 2070, revolutionizing humanity. Not just humans, not just a country, not just a world, but humanity. And it all is balanced on one pivot point, which is now. Yeah. What you choose matters. Yeah. Truly. So, look at your fear. Begin to understand that fear was originally intended to be a safeguard. It was meant to be the voice that says, yeah, don't put your hand in that fire. Don't run in front of that car. Don't push the person that's 3 times your size. Don't kick them in the shin, because there's probably going to be negative consequences for that. But what happened is at some point, humans began to not just get the message, but then say to fear, but what do I do? They gave their authority over to fear. And the messenger doesn't have an answer. Fear is a messenger. Use it that way. Let it become your friend again. Let it become a bumper guard that keeps you from going too deeply into a situation that you don't know how to respond to. But don't use it as an avoidance of all responsibility. Yeah. So go back and look at your own history of fear. How you didn't take that job, or you didn't quit the one that you should have because you were afraid of not having a job. Didn't go to school, or didn't in that relationship, or didn't begin that relationship. Look at how many places in your life have been compromised by fear and the resulting avoidance of responsibility. So if you choose instead trust. Now, always when we say this, people say to me, I don't know how. Yeah, you do. You do. You've forgotten. None of you would be alive at this age if you hadn't had some moments of trust in your life. Think about your life. At some point, someone had to love you, someone had to have a relationship of trust on some level, or you would not have survived infancy. You would not have survived childhood. You would not even be capable of adult living as a human. It could have been a parent, a sibling, a teacher, a friend, a grandparent, a stranger. But at some point, there have been moments of trust in your life. Draw them to you like magnet. Magnetize them to you. And every time fear rises, no, I'm going to choose to trust. Even if I don't know that I'm doing it correctly. Even if I don't know what it means. The very words, because words are powerful. Oh, you doubt that? How important when someone says, I love you. Oh, words have power. How about if someone says, I hate you? Yeah, words have power. So even as you say, I am choosing to trust, your vibration is shifted because of that. Why is that important? Because when you lift your vibration by choosing to trust, truth can come in on a level that you might not have ever experienced before. Your perception changes as your vibration changes, so that you can lift above the chaos and confusion and begin to see that now is a time to dream. Now is a time to dream the future. The future, because this is a pivot point. It's not yet written. No one knows. God does not even know, because he's gifted you with free will, you being humanity, consciousness. You haven't chosen your future yet. We suggest you start making choices. I would like the earth to survive. I would like democracy to survive. I would like the virus to become something we can live with or be cured, etc., etc., etc. The more what you focus on, you create. And if you're focused on rage and pain and fear and all of the negativity, guess what you're creating? Yeah. You've forgotten how to dream. It's your most base power. You've forgotten power of choice and the power of dreaming. And they're driven not just by trust and truth, but they're also driven by gratitude. So powerful. Gratitude is so powerful. What do I have to be grateful for? Well, you're still healthy. Hopefully your families are still healthy. Hopefully your finances are at some level of intact. You still have job opportunities, education opportunities, and regardless of what you see in the streets, you still have the right to stand anywhere in your country and voice your opinion. Yeah. For now. We get passionate because we care. We're not demanding of you. We're not insisting of you. We're simply confused by you. Do you love fear so much? Do you love that blanketed weight? We don't understand why you keep choosing it, but it's your choice. We honor that always. It is not our place to say you choose right or wrong. We just want to wave a little flag at you and say, look here. Look here instead. This might be better. This might be prettier. This might be full of joy. Oh, what a concept. Yeah. Because that is the fourth energy we want to talk to you about. Fear and trust. Trust and truth. Gratitude and joy. You see, in the face of fear, it's impossible to believe that you can have what you want when you want it. That's joy, having what you want when you want it. Yeah. You can't reach joy because the vibration of it is so high. You've got to have trust, truth, gratitude. You've got to believe in love. You've got to believe that you are loved and that you love good enough to cause positive impact on others. Then you can access the vibration of joy. If you're caught in fear, you can't get there. Vibrationally, it's just not possible. And each of these things that we've named, trust, truth, gratitude, joy, they require you to respond. Now, the response can be as simple as saying, I like this. This is wonderful. I want to live here. Yeah. instead of the fear, which makes it so staticky that you can't even remember that you have choice. Where does pain, do you imagine pain? Where does pain fall in all of this? Yeah, it's linked into fear. Pain is generated on any level, physical, emotional, mental, etheric, any of your structure, your human energy form. When you deny your connectivity, your relationship with God, God is all that is. When you begin to believe that the world is so fearful that you are separated from love, that you are separated from life, that you are separate from hope, you begin to generate pain. And if you generate enough pain, you begin to die. Yeah. There are consequences for your choices, vibrational consequences. We've been talking a lot about a specific energy, and we call it momentum. We do healing work with our channel, and we often work with those who have created cancer in their bodies. And cancer, at its very base, is a desire to return home, leave the physical and return to your light body. It's obviously each person that developed cancer has a different view of it, a different face of it. But basically, on the very base level, is I want to go home. I want out. I'm done. I'm tired of this place. And so when we work with people that have created cancer, one of the things that we have to have a discussion with them about is this thing called momentum. You know, if you stand at a hill and start a little ball of snow and push it down the hill, it gathers speed and collects more snow, more energy, faster, bigger, faster, bigger, faster, bigger. Yeah, that's momentum. Your creations take on momentum. Yeah, your creations take on momentum. Fear gets larger, louder, larger, louder, larger, louder. Yeah. There are people that cannot leave their homes. They're so afraid. People that have not had face-to-face contact with other humans for months because their fear has a momentum and it's becoming painful. Yeah. So when we say you're balanced very precariously in 2020, understand there are forces of momentum here at work. Is the Republican Party all good or bad? No. Is the Democratic Party all good or bad? No. But which of the options presented to you is going to give you the greater choice of choosing? Yeah. If you want the government that makes choices for you, you get to go to this school, you get to have this job, you get to make this much money, and you will pay these amount of taxes, then you know your choice. If you want something that opens you up to a greater freedom to choose for self, then you know your choice. But it's based upon fear. Any choice based upon fear is going to limit your vibration. So, fear as a choice, trust as a choice. Choosing trust brings truth. Guess what fear does not support? That would be truth. It has no connection to fear. It's only bonded with trust, which then can give birth to gratitude. Why is gratitude so important? Because it's an acknowledgement. When you are grateful, you are acknowledging. You are acknowledging some level of happiness, some level of opportunity. Even in 2020, there is beauty gifted to you by the goddess. There's tremendous beauty, even in the midst of this chaos and confusion. Don't get so focused on the negative, you forget the focus on the positive. So if nothing else, at the end of each day, to find one thing that generated thankfulness, which has the potential to lead you to gratitude. I'm thankful the freeway isn't too crowded. All right, yeah. I'm thankful that I can still get fresh food whenever I want it. It's a good thing to be thankful for. I'm thankful for the beauty of these flowers. I'm thankful for the cleaner skies. I'm thankful that the people I'm working with seem to be happy today. Whatever it is, one small moment of thankfulness, it changes the vibration of who you are. Yes. The fifth energy, community. You know, we also do a lot of work with people who have substance abuse issues. And we will tell you now, all addiction is an avoidance of pain. So if someone has a substance abuse, now our channel half jokingly says sugar is her drug of choice. It really is a serious addiction. It's as addictive as heroin. So you've got sugar, you might have salt, you might have food, you might have sex, you might have nicotine, you might have alcohol, you might have opiates, you might have, the list is endless. But you can also have emotional addictions, assumption, blame, judgment, revenge, etc., etc. All addictive patterns are avoidance of pain. Can you heal what you try to avoid? That should be a resounding no. So when we deal with people with substance abuse, one of the first things we want to talk to them about is what's the source of the pain. So we don't ever talk to them about give up the substance, never, because we understand that they need that substance to numb the pain. So use whatever your substance is while we work with you on releasing the source of the pain. And as the pain disappears, the substance can disappear. It's no longer a call for it, no longer an addiction, no longer a need. Why are we talking about that in terms of community? Well, one of the examples is Alcoholics Anonymous, or for drugs, the same things, Narcotics Anonymous. And one of the first things that Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous will tell you is you have to stop interacting with the people that you interact with when you drink or do drugs. And you know, that's one of the most challenging aspects. That's why so many people fail in AA and in NA, because they can't give up their known community. Even as it kills them, they can't give it up. We're saying to you to be aware of your community and choose to create something like the one you're participating in today, that you come together over thoughts, ideas, feelings that you have in common, and you trust each other enough to support each other and ask questions and gather information. Yeah. So, enough